Hello everyone, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Sony CCD-TRV308 camcorder. Now, at a glance, this camcorder doesn't look like much, but it records to video cassette. So it's not really unique, but it is something. So I got this camera back in August from eBay, and I was surprised that it even worked to begin with, and I was also surprised that the two batteries it came with, the first one died, the second one is this one, and it still works. The mechanism for ejecting the tape, that still works just fine. And I've got a Sony 8mm MP20 video cassette in there. And I'm using it with a Sony camera, so it's like the perfect mix, I guess. So that's what you've got on the side. On the back you've got your strap. I never use this strap. Part of the reason why is because I don't really know how, and I don't really need to. On the back you've got your control switch, so you can switch this from different modes. You can switch this to player mode, or camera mode, or off. Or you can also use this mode to charge the batteries. Battery on the back. It is a lithium battery. The other one that the seller sent me was like this, but it was thicker, so it could hold a longer charge. Unfortunately, that one died. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in there. I'm probably gonna have to reset the clock and everything else from taking out the battery. Oh, and you've got your viewfinder right here. That's a black and white. I don't think you'll be able to see that. Let me take off the lens cover. Yeah, I'm doubtful you guys can see that. Might as well smudge up my camera lens while I'm at it. It's really difficult to see on camera, but it's essentially everything you get on this screen, except it's in this viewfinder. On the side, you've got your LCD screen. You've got your buttons that do stuff. It's like I said, it's basically the same thing you get on this viewfinder. Oh, also, since I have it extended, the viewfinder you can pull out like this, and you can pull it up so you can look at it from here. And you have a little diopter to adjust it, so if you have eyeglasses or something, you can take those eyeglasses off and adjust this to your needs. And the viewfinder automatically activates when you close the LCD screen. Yeah. And the viewfinder is actually a little small CRT screen. So that's interesting. On your screen, you've got your basic stuff. You've got volume controls, display, which it adjusts this stuff. So if you don't want the amount of time you have left on your tape or your battery life to show up, you just click the display button, and it only shows the standby button, or if you're recording, it'll show the record button, and it'll show the mode you're in. So right now I have it in cinema. I'll go over this more in detail later. You've got end search, which I believe is it's for the tape. So if you want to record to a blank area of the tape, you press this and it'll look for that blank area. And the tape that's in here right now, it's completely filled up. The entire thing is used. So I just keep recording over it until I get a new tape, I guess. Exposure, you can adjust your exposure. I don't really want to do that right now. Title, you can add a title to the video. More on that later. Easy dubbing, I have no idea what that is. Menu, you click this to access your menu, and you use this to scroll through your menu. Now, at a glance, it's kind of bulky. I mean, look at this. I mean, you'll hold on to it like this. Okay, I usually just hold it with both hands. Alright, so I had to replace the battery in this camera, and the camera that I'm using to record this. I can't just plug it in while I'm recording, because it doesn't have that option. It runs off of batteries and batteries only, which makes it kind of inconvenient for what I'm doing, especially because the batteries that I have are third-party and don't last for very long. But the reason why I'm using this camera is because, well, one, my camcorder, which has a mic input, by the way, that doesn't work. That doesn't work with anything. I don't know why. I guess the mic input port is just broken. I could use my phone to record the video, but I'm just not going to because it's really painful to try to get a video file transferred off of it. And this camera that I'm using right now is pretty much my only alternative. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a mic input, so it records with its internal microphone. The only reason why you're hearing my voice in higher quality is because I'm recording the audio from my headset. I plugged my headset into my phone, and I'm recording the audio separately, and I'm going to dub it in post. Anyway, we've already gone over the screen, we've already gone over the viewfinder. I guess you've got your basic tape controls there. Stop, rewind, play, fast forward, and pause. So if you want to play back your tape using this, you can. There we go. Yeah, you can play back stuff. On the front, you've got a nice lens. I try to keep this on the lens as much as I can because I don't want it to smudge up. And you've got your recording light. So when you turn on the camera, when it's in recording mode, you can push the light button right there, and it turns on the recording light, which is actually quite bright. And it's got two modes. The mode it's on is auto. So right now, it's automatically detecting whether or not the light should be on. In this case, it decided that the light needs to be on because it's, obviously on. But one thing you could do is, if you hit the button again, it just sets it to on. So it'll stay on no matter what. Also, another thing it has is night shot, which night shot is right there. So if you're in complete darkness and you want night vision, just turn it on. When I show you test footage from this, you'll see it. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the DVD, the VCR that I've got over there, so I can show you around this camera and the menus. Oh, and one more thing before we switch over. Like I mentioned, this camera is pretty bulky, and I've got this mini tripod. This was certainly not designed to hold this much weight, but we're going to go ahead and put it on this anyway. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can tell it's really stable. Oh. Did I already break this? Okay, no I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, I totally know what I'm doing here. Look at this. You can zoom in into the bathroom, or into the doorknob to be specific. Alright, let's go ahead and switch over to the VCR real quick so I can show you guys more in depth about what options you have in this, because this kind of setup is definitely not ideal for this. But wait, there's more. Now I don't even have a place to put this. Do I just have to put it on the floor? I guess I have to. But in the meantime, this is my VCR setup here. It is it's very well set up, very professional. You have your VHS DVD thing, and it's plugged in, well, it was plugged into a capture device into this computer, which is currently running Ubuntu because OBS for Windows 7 just kept crashing every single time I tried to use it. Let's go ahead and make sure we're on the right input here. First we have to move everything out of the way so I can, yeah. Alright, so for some odd reason, actually this might be easier for me to do on the floor. Alright, now we're on the floor. And I've mentioned this several times already, but this is not the most ideal setup, but at the same time, essentially nothing of what I'm doing here is an ideal setup. Okay, we're zoomed all the way out now. Now that I'm zoomed all the way out, you can see all the clutter. Okay, so these are the two cables we're looking for. And might as well plug it into power too. Okay, so take your power cable, plug it into the back of this. Oh. This is actually really difficult to do. Like, this camera is so top heavy, I have to hold it in place so it doesn't fall over. There. And in case you're wondering, there's no way to lock this little gimbal in place, it's just loose. Okay, we're gonna take this, spin it around, take this side cover off. Now, this is where I have a little bit of explaining to do. Well, first and foremost, I need some lighting, because I don't even think you can see these. Alright, here we go. I've got this kind of flexible desk lamp, which will work. It's got USB, which is good because I've got a USB Amazon Basics thing over there. And we're going to plug it into fast charge because that's 2.4 amps, and I think, okay, I plugged in the lamp and everything up here just died. Yay. Okay, so not only am I going to have to reset the time on that, but I'm also going to have to turn this back on. There we go. Oh, and the green line there is just damage to the screen. I don't know how it happened. I guess it happens with age. I've had this for, I think, almost 10 years now, so yeah, that was bound to happen at some point. Perfect, except that's too bright. And one cool thing this thing can do is switch colors. So if I do this, it switches colors, except you can't see it because this camera is not very good at detecting bright things. Okay, you can kind of see blue. And it's a touch thing, so you just touch it and it goes to whatever color your finger is on. I'm trying to angle this because you can bend. This is a bendy thing, you can bend it back and forth. Oh yes, this is still a video about the Sony CCD-TRV308. Just making sure you guys know that. Alright, so on the side here we've got S-Video, audio video, and I don't even know. I don't know, because I can't read what it says there. So, for some odd reason, the audio-video on this particular unit doesn't work. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this. And the reason why the composite video on this adapter is plugged into the white on the cable is because if I had the white plugged into the white, for some reason you'll just hear a buzzing noise. If I have the composite video plugged into the white, then you won't hear the noise. The red is the only thing that's plugged in, so you'll only hear the audio on one ear if you don't edit it to mono. I haven't figured out how to do that in my current video editor yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll figure out how to do it at some point. So yeah, this is kind of an unconventional way of capturing audio, but it's the... Oh god. Last time it didn't make this noise. I don't know why it's doing that now. Oh yeah, and if you're hearing the mic, if you're hearing a bunch of like thudding noises, that's because the mic of this headset, I'm working right next to the camera, so when I turn around, the mic just rams into the camera. If you're hearing those thudding noises, then that's why. What? It just... What? Okay, it just stops when you plug in S-Video. Whatever. Alright. So, we're good to go. Now we just gotta turn it on. No, it's already on. Oh. The input of that is wrong. Okay, here we go. Actually, let's zoom out there. Input. Line 2. Oh yeah, it's not on. There we go. Alright. Yeah, it's pointed at the wall. And the strap is snagged around the tripod leg, so I'm gonna have to fix that. All these wires, I mean, I don't really like this. This wire from the headset, it gets snagged on everything and it pulls it away. I guess for a cheap $20 headset, that's fine. I shouldn't be complaining because this sounds much better than I thought it would, actually. Right now it's plugged into the VCR. I can go ahead and press the record button on the remote, although there's also a record button on that. I'm just too lazy to reach for it. And it's recording to the disc. So now you're going to see the video from the DVD. I guess I didn't have to attach it to the mini tripod because it's just going to be sitting here in my lap. So let's go ahead and review what we've got here. Alright, so we've got program, was it auto effect, or what is this? Actually, I haven't looked at this in particular, so I'm not sure. Is AE like auto effect? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what they do in particular, but you can visually tell that they're making the picture brighter and darker, and it's adjusting the white balance in this one. I'm not really sure about this. And there we've got picture effect, and you've got a bunch of different things here, like pastel or pastel, I don't know. And it basically makes your image look like this. Neg art, which is negative art, I think. I guess that makes sense because a photo negative looks like this. Sepia makes it look kind of dusty and oldish looking. Black and white is just, plain black and white. Solarize is kind of, I want to say it sharpens the image. Actually, I don't know if it sharpens it because from what I'm looking at, the ground looks like one solid piece, which I guess you can get from over-sharpening something. Mosaic just looks like that. Kind of looks like you're censoring something because of how pixelated it is. Slim just kind of squashes your picture, so my hands are like right here. Okay, it just shut off. I guess that's a power saving feature, but that doesn't really make sense because, you know, it's plugged into the wall right now. This is slim, which kind of shortens your field of view. My hands are right here, there, and your depth of field is, well, this. My hands, my fingers are right there. Your depth of field is about this. Now I'm wondering if I just held this with my hands, would it be better? Probably. So I won't have to worry about the tripod. There. We don't need that. Alright, so that's slim. Stretch does the exact opposite. It stretches out your picture and distorts it to make it look like this. Then if you turn it like that, it just makes it look all weird. It does the same thing for slim too. Look at this. It's actually really hard for me to rotate the camera when there are cables plugged into it. That's slim, that's stretch. And yeah, that's all of your effects that you have. Alright, digital zoom. Digital zoom is off because I really don't like it. If I went to digital zoom 40x, it would digitally magnify the picture so it would look like that. But notice how it looks a lot more noisy. And if I did that with 460, that would look a lot worse. See that? It just does that. You can't even tell what you're looking at anymore. Once you go up to that in digital zoom, not only is it out of focus, but you don't even have a basic idea of what you're looking at because it's so noisy and ugh. So I just keep digital zoom off. This is a aspect ratio, so you click this. Right now I have it in cinema mode because I can enlarge this in my video editor later, but if I didn't have that on, it would look like this. And it fills up the entire frame. But that's a 640 by 480 picture, I believe. And if I do 16 by 9 full, it kind of stretches it out. Yeah, I just use it like this or like that. I'm going to keep it in cinema aspect ratio. Does it turn off like every 5 minutes when you're not recording? I mean, I can understand if that's a power saving feature, but it should automatically be disabled when it's plugged in. I don't know. Steady shot, that's basically your image stabilization. So right now it's on. So if I hold it like this and it's zoomed all the way in, it stabilizes the image. Because image stabilization really matters when you're zoomed all the way in. If you have it off, it looks a lot more shaky and jittery and, you know, not good. But if I have steady shot on, it'll look like that. I guess steady shot has more noise in the picture. I don't know if it's noticeable, but I'm noticing it with my own eyes. I don't know if that will show up on the DVD, but I guess that's just a sacrifice you have to make if you want to have a stable image. NS light, oh god. I'm actually not sure what this does. Okay. LCD/VF set. Now you can change the LCD brightness. I would think LCD B.L is LCD black and white, which I'm assuming it would mean this viewfinder, but I'm not sure. The options are grayed out, so they're not available. Tape set, recording mode is LP, which is long play. If it was long play, short play, I think that's what it means. I'm not 100% sure. ORC to set. Start, stop. I don't know what that does. Remain. I don't know. Yeah, I have not done much research with this, so all I know is that you press record, you adjust your occasional setting or two, and it just works. Setup menu, clock date, yeah, that's correct. Auto date off, LTR size, I don't know what that does. Oh, gives you larger text We don't need that. Language, English. You can set it to Espanol. Demo mode is disabled. I don't know what that does. If I had to guess, demo mode. I'm gonna actually put this down because that's really hard on my hand. Like, oh my god, that's carrying that is really hard on my hand. It's really bulky. I'm actually really glad that cameras like this are now obsolete, because if they weren't, I would be recording this video on something that's like big and bulky like this. And I wasn't even holding it for that long. Imagine if you're trying to record like a sports event or a really long-lasting home video. I mean, your arm would get tired really quickly, or at least mine did. Demo mode, if I had to guess, that just gives you a demo of the camera, the settings it has, how to operate it, all that fun stuff. That's grayed out for some reason, I don't know. World time 0. Beep. If you set this to normal or off, it won't give you sound at all, so melody is your only option. Now, display is video out / LCD. If you only want to, if you're plugged into a VCR or something like I am right now, and you only want to see what's being captured by the camera lens and not these menus, just switch to LCD. It only outputs what's being seen by the camera and nothing else. But for the sake of this video, we are going to keep it in video out / LCD. Recording lamp, if I switch this to off, so I don't think that does anything, because the recording lamp turns on when you press the light button, like you just saw. And that's it. Yeah, there's not much to this camera. It's a pretty basic camera. If you want to go vintage with the date and time being shown at the same time, you can click the date and time buttons and have that show up. And if you really want to go all out, you can change the aspect ratio to this. It'll give you that classic 640 by 480 VHS camera footage with the date and time on the side. Like I said, I'm going to keep it in the cinematic aspect ratio for now. And I don't... Okay. But yeah. Oh, and you've got your title button, and you can enter in a title. And what that will do is when you press record, this title will flash, and that will be recorded onto the tape. So if I just press record, it'll record the video and the Sony Camcorder title that's flashing on the screen. Actually, if we're going to enter in Spanish text, we're going to do it right. Okay, there we go. When you record, it will overlay the text onto the video. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys some test footage from this camera. Currently, as of filming this video, it's dark outside, but you can get a feel for the night shot, and the next day I'll just record a video of how it'll perform outside in the sun. So I'll go ahead and switch over to that now. Cold outside, and it's snowing. Or it was snowing. I don't think it's snowing now. Yeah, actually, I don't even need night shot for this because it has a really good low light performance, actually. I forgot that it did. I guess what helps out with that is the snow. The light that is there is bouncing off of the snow, which is making it, brighter. I guess a more ideal test would be when it's not snowing. Yeah, this is what it looks like outside. Since I'm not using the headset at the moment, you can get a feel for how the internal mic works on this thing. It'll be capturing in only one ear, so you won't be able to experience the stereo mic that this thing has. But I guess that's not too important. What really matters to me is the camera quality. And it still has a hard time focusing, even though there's light. We can turn on night shot. There. But since it has a pretty good low light sensitivity, a lot of the time you don't even need to turn this on because of how well it performs in low light. And that's pretty much it. So some footage in the daylight I'll do tomorrow, I guess, because it's, nighttime. And it's cold, I don't want to be out here. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, because it was actually really difficult to make. Now, I'm thankful for the camera equipment that I have, because this is just awful. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. More is to come, so you will see more content like this in the future, hopefully. Alright, well, guess I'll see you guys in the next video.